yeah, anybody want to share? And you don't have to worry about anybody stealing your ideas, because I'm on all the assignments, so I'll know straight away if someone's taken our idea. So Munir, you can feel comfortable. Brandon won't steal anything. Right, let's hear. Yours?
Okay, I got mine on recreating a department in my business focusing on school stationery, whereas currently I focus on business to business, and for this coming year's back to school rush.
Okay. So you find, you see a business opportunity. Okay, let's hear.
He stole the idea from me over lunch.
Stole the idea from you over lunch. Is yours in black and white?
Yes, it is.
Is it? Okay, let's hear yours.
No, go around the table.
Okay, Brandon, let's hear.
I've kind of got two. I'm just playing with both of them, but the one is procurement workshops within the company where I actually have to assess the procurement guidelines and find out are they up to date. That type of stuff. In terms of the procurement trends, are we up to date in sort of, are we using the latest there? And by doing that, how am I going to implement this? What is missing in procurement nowadays that is suitable? Can I customize it for our particular business? Are we using the correct technology as a procurement company? I was just explaining to him now that I have to do capture my report tonight, and I'm capturing on an Excel spreadsheet, and then I'm transferring it to another Excel spreadsheet. But I'm already working in SAP, so now why can't SAP do all of that for me? Why am I still, in terms of capturing numbers? Now we're talking, if I say I'm spending plus minus around about 4 or 5 million rand a month. Now if I put in the correct data, because I'm going straight from the hard copy of the purchase order and I'm putting that data in by normal typing. So if I put in an extra 1 onto a 4-digit number, that soon becomes 50,000 or whatever. So that is the sort of problematics you find, whereas you already got that in the SAP system. The SAP system's captured that amount and just transferred it. So that's what I think is outdated. Sort of new innovation. Why can't we start using iPads instead of to cut out paper? Because we have to print everything and do this and that. Have we started sort of that? And then what are the benefits? By doing all of this, I need to find out what are the benefits to the department. Is it going to work? Is it going to cut down questions of time? What benefits is the procurement guy going to get? Is he going to have time instead of, sounds more admin. So by doing this, is he going to have more time to do other important things like, check on contracts?
Okay, Brandon, I'm going to stop you there, and I don't mean to interrupt, but good.
Too many.
But when is enough? And also, just keep it clear and concise. Go back to your action verbs. Identify and describe a business opportunity. Not 10, not 20, not 3, A. So remember, that first one should just be one sentence, maybe 1.5 sentences, and that's it, where you clearly define something. So I think you need to work from a language point of view and try and make it more specific. So from a procurement point of view, maybe you could also bring in a stat, some particular stat, with procurement going down, this particular company lost X amount of revenue, whatever. Because then all of a sudden you're going to get ears pricking up. Okay, because they're saying, hang on a second, if our procurement's not up to standard, then there's a big possibility we're going to start losing out on revenue. Okay, but try and be more specific. Because you see that if you had to write everything that you said down, it might have been a page long. Okay, so identify and describe straight away. Identify and describe.
One-liner.
Yeah, maybe 1-liner, maybe 2-liners at a push. Okay, so you've got a bit of work there. So I know you're very passionate about it, you're thinking about a lot of things, and this is the difficult thing, the synthesis and the conciseness of what you're trying to get down on paper. Agreed, guys? You're okay with that? Bianca, let's hear yours.
Mine is to implement a knowledge sharing and innovation forum internally for employees to promote communication and refine internal skills.
Okay, that's very specific. Okay, and you see the action verb there, Brandon? Implement. To implement. So maybe you could also have something around to implement procurement workshops.
I was going to say something like new procurement strategies for 2014.
Okay, but you see, I love that Brandon's doing this. I was going to say something like, okay, you must put it in black and white.
Okay.
Because that's what happens. Okay, no, but I'm glad you guys, because all of us make these mistakes. Because we kind of say, oh, no, that's what I was saying. But that's not what you were saying. It's like my 10-year-old boy. I say, do this. No, but that's what I was saying. Put it in black and white, and you know exactly what you need to say. It's very, very specific, very real. Hold on, do you want to add anything to it?
No, I just want to clarify the first part.
Okay.
I'm not saying will implement, I'm proposing it, I'm not saying they will do it, because they might not buy into it, but it's proposing to them, so will is a bit of a strong word.
Knowledge Dimensions Holdings will implement a knowledge sharing, aims to implement. Maybe aims to implement. Julie? Aims to implement. Okay. Okay, let's hear it.
Well, I have identified a need to facilitate business development workshops for my whole team to improve sales, because every person is a brand or an ambassador of the company. So
Okay.
that's what I intend to do.
That's also not very, very specific, because you're talking to me, it is in black and white.
Yeah.
Let me hear the words. Read it as you've written it down.
Identify the need to facilitate
Need to facilitate. Leave it to.
business development workshops to improve sales.
Okay.
I type better.
Okay, you type it. Okay. Okay, thank you, Pierre.
Okay. Mine is maximizing the effectiveness and efficiency of our online communication channel model.
Okay, excellent. Good. Okay. And maybe you can just read those words again. Maximize.
Maximizing the effectiveness and efficiency of our online communication channel model.
Okay. Maybe you can talk about user friendliness as well. User friendliness.
Okay.
Okay, from the software program point of view, try and use words like that. You want Tommy?
Okay. What I've identified is the need to upgrade our products. I've seen that we started as a foreign exchange bank, but now I think it's about time we compete with the,
Already it's too long. You see your problem.
Okay, what structures can be put in place in order for us to
What have you
upgrade?
written on paper?
It's not in black and white.
Here, what structures can be put in place in order for us to upgrade our products?
Okay, that's a question, not really an opportunity. Okay, so you're addressing the opportunity through a question. So what products can you put in place? Am I correct?
We already have products, but what's making clients to come and want to bank with us? What is attracting clients? What are we doing to get them?
So what are you identifying, a need or an opportunity?
She wants them to diversify, I think. To
No, I
other
don't know.
products.
You see what I'm saying? You need to be more specific with that particular with that wording. If you want to identify or describe a business opportunity, is it good to ask a question?
No.
Yes, but you've listed a question in your business case, which can be quite confusing, because the reader might say, well, actually, what do you want to achieve here? So you're trying to achieve something, but you're asking a question. So it needs to rather be a statement. You can ask the question later on in your business case. Would you agree with that? So that what products that you can ask later on.
Okay.
Up front, you need to have a statement, some kind of statement. There's a definite need for okay, or there's a definite opportunity for this particular product. And when you talk about products, I don't know Bidvest, but I'm sure Bidvest has got lots of products. So if you're saying, because I think you started
Bidvest
in,
Bank. I should have said Bidvest Bank because
There we go. Now
Bidvest
you're
is a
starting
group
to
now.
you're now starting to define what you actually want to say there. But if you say all the products, is that feasible? Remember, smart, specific, and measurable. You need to be specific. Which products?
Oh, because if
Okay.
I say products, I'm touching based on
Everything.
Bidvest prestige, communications, and that.
Everything.
But soccer team also.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Marianne, let's hear.
It's true.
Me? Okay, mine is achieving clean audits for the department and its state-owned companies or entities, which is SABC, USASA, NEMISA, Centec, you name them. But specifically, I'll give an example of with department and SABC. Okay, in 2012-13.
Now, that can come later.
Okay.
That can come later.
Yes.
That can come later.
That
But
can come
your
later.
need is to just give it to me again.
Okay. Achieving clean audits.
What do you call a clean audit?
Clean audit.
What do you call it?
A clean audit, we receive clean audits from Auditor General,
So what is a clean audit called?
financial final management report from
Is
Auditor
it a
General.
qualified or an unqualified report?
Unqualified for the department and qualified for SABC.
If you've got a qualified report, it means there were problems with the report.
SABC, yes, problems, department unqualified. That's what I'm saying, specifically on the state-owned entity. I'm going to give example of SABC. Why we having this achieving clean audit by 2014, or maybe yes.
By that.
Yes.
Okay, but remember that's going to come later on. What you want to do now is you want to just state, and I like your statement, to achieve clean audits.
Audits, yes,
Okay, but I don't like the word clean because you're making the assumption that everybody understands clean. From a financial perspective, we talk about qualified and unqualified reports.
But normally we say yes on the results. When we get the management report, that's when we say unqualified. We get the results, it's unqualified or qualified or disclaimer. You understand?
Yes.
So when we, our project like would say, be to achieve clean audits, that's how we call it.
Okay, so that's a language that is used.
That's
in
the language
particular.
that we use.
Okay.
Yes.
But remember, you're making an assumption there that everybody's going to know what you mean by clean audit.
Yes.
So you need to just upfront maybe define what you mean by
Okay.
clean audit. There it's fine that you put unqualified audit equals clean audit. So
And
remember,
or
unqualified is
disclaimer.
clean.
Yes.
She's proposing to maybe financial people, if they don't know what's a clean audit, they shouldn't even be there.
No, but finance is fine. No, but finance. I disagree with you because that could also be aimed at management. Because often when you've got a qualified report, it's as a result of bad management,
Problems,
correct?
yeah.
Yes,
Corruption.
bad management.
So
yes,
it could be,
corruption.
it could relate back to management as well. So I hear you. It is nice. It's nice and specific. But remember, your examples will come later. Okay. Right
Yes.
now, when you identify and describe, you're just going to give that one or two line. Okay. And you're bringing your reader in. Okay. Sydney, let's hear yours.
Okay.
Mine is still the same idea, which is actually providing accommodation for students in Malanga University. Obviously, the aim for this is to provide shelter that is convenient to the students.
Okay. Now, my definition of provide, I think, is different to your definition of provide. My definition of provide is the building's already up, and you're going to just maybe make it, I don't know, paint it a little bit and fix it up. But this morning you spoke about building it.
Yes, building. Yeah, this I think I would accept your correction in the fact that actually I'm thinking of something that I have to attain ground. So obviously the
100%.
is construction.
So there's a time frame point of view. So from a providing point of view, you need to define, because if you say to me providing, you say, okay, we'll go, and then you say, no, it's going to be done in 2 years' time. And you say, what are you talking about? 2 years' time? No, we have to build the building. Okay, so that's a very long project as opposed to maybe Mary Ann's or as opposed to Bianca's. So your time frame is going to be a lot longer than these. Agreed? Okay. So you're going to have to look very closely at your financial situation, because you're going to need cash flow for 2 years. Bianca's maybe we're going to need cash flow for maybe 6 months for this particular product. Depending. Okay. But you're going to need definitely for around 2.5, maybe two and a half years.
Yeah. Okay. While you're on that, like how does we are assuming that I already understand and have done the research already. So I'll probably say, if I opt for the idea of actually providing, in the sense that there is actually an abandoned flat, which is somewhere near the Malanga University, and then I'm actually renovating it to make it convenient for students and all. That would be probably cutting my time period, and also it's a much cheaper.
What is Sydney talking about, guys? What is he talking about? Offering the audience different solutions, different options. So this is the option of building from ground level up. This is the option of getting a rundown building and renovating. This is an option of buying a readily available building. It's going to cost so much. Now you're giving your audience 3 different scenarios. But identifying, describing an opportunity is providing just give it to me, providing?
They're providing accommodation to students in Malanga University.
In Mpumalanga area. So he's given me the location, he's given me who it's for and why. Maybe you just need to address the why. Okay, so what, for whom and why. So it's accommodation, it's for the students, but why? Why do we need it? Maybe you can add a little one line in it. Okay, as a result to distance travel being so unviable. Okay, guys? Everyone okay with that? Remember the what, the why, and the whom. Okay, so that's what we're trying to address there before we go on. Okay. Everyone okay with that? Look at this. I just brought this out here. It's the new Succeed. Get more money into your life. Start a business with no money. Who was that? It said, is it possible, it was Pierre, is it possible to have a business case that doesn't require any money?
Yes.
Well, maybe you can read this article. I'd like to disagree, but there are some cases where a lot of people try to argue the alternative. Now, this particular article I found very interesting, and it says sex sells. So now, I don't want to offend anyone, just think about this. It says, sex sells, start a taboo business. Isn't that interesting? So you're thinking about an opportunity or need. In this particular article, it talks about sex sells. Unfortunately, we know that from an unethical society that we find ourselves in. Sex sells. Okay, start a taboo business, so a business that often people don't want to talk about, but yet it's financially viable. So what they talk about there, it says here, often the success of a new business depends on your ability to fill a need in the market. Isn't that interesting? What we checked about. In an innovative and unique way. So innovation is very, very important. Uniqueness is very, very important there. What if there was a need in the market that everyone knows about, yet few have enough courage to capitalize on? Legal business in the sex, alcohol, and gambling industries provide profitable opportunities to start a business. Interesting. Now, you don't have to agree with it. What they're saying is you're just turning it on its head. So as a result of pestle, political and legal ramifications around prostitution, I don't know enough about it, but you can go into it. As a result of that, certain businesses are illegal, correct? Now this article's written it from that point of view, so that's a threat. Remember our SWOT? It's a threat, but how do we make that threat an opportunity? Because it's a taboo business. Interesting scenario. You don't have to agree with it. And there they're talking about sex, gambling, and alcohol, but you can even think of other taboo businesses. Maybe starting a, come on, before I give you an example, think of some other taboo businesses.
Modeling.
Modeling.
Is it taboo? No.
Come on, think outside of the box. I regard taboo as IBM, just say you're IBM. IBM selling Hewlett Packard. Oh, that's taboo. How can we do that? But yet they make money from it. Is it financially viable? A mining company selling
Marshmallows.
a competitor's product in their offices, as well as their own product. I'm not saying you must do it, but that's taboo. It's taboo business. It shouldn't be done, but yet there's an opportunity to actually do it. So you go to a Nokia shop, but you can buy a Samsung phone. You go to an Apple store, but you can buy a Samsung. Ooh, imagine the Apple managers thinking about that one. Okay, so that's taboo. That's something that wouldn't be done. So taboo isn't about something that's only unethical. It's just something that isn't done. So now we're looking at it from a different point of view. This is a lovely article, and as I say, it's not going to offend anyone. It's written around a business from a business point of view. When you look at an opportunity or need, and you address an opportunity or need that is taboo. Isn't that interesting? So this is where you get Jewish people going into the pork industry. I've got some Jewish friends, okay? They're completely kosher, but when it comes to eating prawns, they love prawns. Because you know Jewish persons aren't supposed to eat prawns.
Not.
No, they're not. As a Muslim person, you eat prawns. Can you? Now, a Jewish person is not allowed to eat prawns because basically it's a cockroach of the sea.
Yeah, you didn't have to go there.
So you're eating a cockroach.
Oh.
So anyway, so it's taboo, okay? Getting into a business that you shouldn't, in that particular culture, you shouldn't really get into, but yet it becomes financially viable. Okay, I just thought I'd share that with you guys. I'm sorry if I spoiled your prawns now.
Yeah,
Are you thinking of Jimmy's killer prawns now? Jimmy's killer cockroaches. Right, guys, if you look at the way the module is structured, if you move on to page 48 of 58, they're talking about incentivizing certain things. So offering incentives. So this is what we find ourselves dealing with now, often on emails. If you fill in this particular market research thing, you stand a chance of winning 1,000 free e-bucks. Have you been there? You done that? Okay? Those types of motivational letters. Compiling direct mails. You can go through it. So direct as opposed to indirect mails. Now, what I want us to do now is we're going to move on to presentation skills. So we haven't got too much for tomorrow. But I want us also, when we go home today, I want us to think very closely about that first part of the PMA. Identify and describe. Go through that again. Remember, rewriting, editing, rewrite, rewrite. So get that almost 100% correct so that you're happy with it. Okay, guys? Everyone okay with that part of the PMA? The next part of the PMA says, draw up a business case. And you can start that today as well. And what I want you to do from a homework point of view, I just want to check the time. Just give me the time, guys. 2:60. So we've got another 15 minutes before we break for tea. But what I want us to look at now is I want us to go out, look. Have all of us got phones? All of us have got smartphones, yeah, phones. All of us have got phones, laptops. I want us to go on to News 24. And I want to look through like I did this morning. Remember, I picked up on the citrus scenario and the pork scenario. And I want you to pick up on a particular article that where you can address an opportunity or a need. And then you're going to start structuring a business case around that particular article, and you're going to come back and present to the group. Are you with me? I'm going to put you in groups. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of us. Eh? So can I ask you three? Would you three sit together, please? Yeah, and then you three, and then you two. Will you sit together? Okay, so Munir, Sasha, Brandon, sorry, looking at the name tag, Sasha, and Bianca. Okay, guys, can I actually ask something? Pierre, can I ask you to go that side, please? Yes, there's a reason why. I just want to see what a men's only group is going to come up with and a ladies only group. Just coming up to the floor there, please. Okay, guys. So what do I want you to do? I want you to go onto News 24. And I want you to see, and it doesn't have to be News 24. It can be something you want to see in your business. So Brandon, you spoke about the strikes in the mining sector. Brandon?
I wasn't going to go there.
You spoke, okay? You don't have to go there. It's something that's relevant, that's pertinent to your particular job profile. Munir, listen to the statement that Munir made. He made a statement earlier on and he said, no, he's in stationery. I hope you don't mind me saying this. And he said that we in the paper industry, there will always be a need for pens and paper, always. Remember Richard Maponya, the sigmoid curve, the life cycle? Even paper will have a life cycle. A lot of people can shoot me down here. Even paper is going to have a life cycle as a result of that second E, the pestle, the environment. So what are you going to do? What are the contingencies in case that inevitable thing happens? In other words, the life cycle of that particular product comes to an end. What is the opportunity or what is the need? Okay, so try and address something like that. Okay, but for now, I want you to go outside the business and look at articles that relate back to that particular pestle. Anybody want my laptop? To go through, here we go. Take my laptop here. Listen to this headline. World won't end because of ETOL, SAMRAL. Yeah. So I'll take this out so it doesn't cause me a problem.
Business proposal case or and business context.
This backpack, eh? Really, really nice.
Very convenient for walking with a laptop on your back.
Right, guys, almost the end of the day. Just want to see presentations for which is coming in now. And then I just want the other two groups to present so that we've got a clear indication of what is expected of us and we've got an idea of where we're going with that particular PMA. So the Bianca and Rafil. And it's important that you stand. Okay, so I want to see how the guys are presenting. Think about your body language and eye contact. Okay, we're going to chat about this tomorrow. Okay, let's hear.
All right. The opportunity that we've identified is for a local public park in the Roodepoort area. Currently, this park contains a route for running, which is basically utilised over weekends by members of public, and also it provides space for people to walk their dogs and so forth. There's a bit of there's a small play area for kids, and there's also a small train that entertains children on Sunday afternoons. Although this park does attract people, we felt that there's great opportunity for this park to grow. So the aim and purpose for our business case would be for Johannesburg City Park to promote social cohesion within the community through the introduction of activities in a safe environment for families in the community. The objectives would be, we've actually covered that, sorry.
Okay, we feel well, let's hear.
Okay. The current uses of the park at the moment, as you mentioned, is the park run. There are people who walk there, they jog, there's cycling, there's a rail or train club over the weekends. There's also bathroom facilities at the park. There's also birds and owls, and they use it as a dog park to walk the dogs. And we thought that other alternative uses, just to make use of it, would be to maybe for the city park to have a swimming pool, to also have a dog training around there, and also include parking, because you mentioned that whenever the people are running, there's not enough parking, and people are parking at other people's houses and all of that. So it would be better to have an allocation, because from what I saw on the computer, it's like 5,000 meters, or it's a huge space, so it could be divided into several activities. They could also have an area to have a picnic for the families. And the park actually has sections where there's grass and there's ruffled sand, there's gravel tracks and concrete paving. The infrastructure is already there, so I thought, or we thought, where there's sand, they could actually have a volleyball place as an activity. And miniature golf would also be nice, because they're promoting social cohesion and a family or community environment.
Okay.
And the biggest thing for the park is that there's a fear within the community that if they do not utilize the space in future, they might actually develop the park, maybe build
houses.
Mpumalanga.
Okay. Bianca, anything else you want to add?
Yes, from a financial perspective, as this business case which we are proposing, there would be costs involved in it. For instance, the swimming pool would have continuous maintenance costs and so forth. And we thought by implementing, proposing for them to build a swimming pool, by forcing people to pay a small contribution in using the pool, it would maintain itself. At this point in time, the railway, which is used for entertainment, also has a cost to it. So from that perspective, by including a bit of cost for some of the services to be provided, the park would become self-maintainable and sustainable in what they're actually offering.
Sure, that's interesting, okay.
As she's mentioned, the infrastructure is already there, so to do the expansions on the basic things, promoting the concept of you can have a picnic here, isn't going to have a cost implication to city parks, but it will actually involve people to become aware and to actually become part of the community.
Okay, good, thank you. Right, let's hear. Marianne, how did you feel?
The presentation is very good, excellent, and yeah.
Nontombi?
But they forgot to greet us.
No, that's a viable point, okay? They forgot to greet us, okay?
No, they just went straight to...
Straight into it, okay?
Yes, to it, which it was, the presentation was good, but it was going to be more if you greeted us, and also
Okay.
the conclusion, perfect.
Okay, thank you. Nontombi?
They were good. They did cover the objectives. They did look deeper into the course that would be involved.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was great.
Sydney?
I think they did very well. Probably beside the fact that they didn't actually specify per se who will they be addressing the proposal to,
Okay, so your target audience.
the target audience.
The Joburg City Parks.
Okay, did you say that? Sorry, I didn't listen either.
Okay, which is fine then. If it's like that, then Well done, ladies. You did well.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to. There is one issue that
Oh, issue. Just be careful or you block yourself. Bianca's got a glass here. Eh?
it's a burning issue for me. It's a burning issue. You mentioned about swimming pool,
Yes.
but the safety around it was not mentioned because I would imagine if kids go there and if there is no security measures around, so their life is in danger, isn't it?
What we didn't mention, well, we mentioned part of putting the swimming pool in and saying that there would be a cost included in that. So that is an assumption that I made by saying that there would be a cost included in that. Something would have to be enclosed because it doesn't help you say you have to pay for something which is walk past. It has to be
Okay.
closed or
Okay, but Pierre brings up a good point from a safety point of view, so maybe spend a little bit more time from a safety point of view and from the legalities around that. What happened to the kid drowns here? Remember
No,
Nelson
another
Mandela's...
thing that we didn't mention was that for income generation, the pool to generate income will be used. There will be a training school for kids who cannot swim and
Okay.
also to create employment for the people who be and.
But when they were there, I think I also like one thing, their sign language. What they are saying, body language,
Oh,
excellent.
we emphasize with hands.
Yeah, exactly, which is excellent.
No,
For
I actually
presentation.
want to disagree with you. I actually found that they're very well grounded. If you notice, they don't use their hands so much. So Bianca puts her hands on the desk and Rafael as well. And that's always a very good indication, especially if you get nervous. Have you ever got up and spoken to people before, and maybe you're a little bit nervous? The best way of dealing with those nerves is to try and ground yourself. How do you ground yourself? By putting your hands on the table. You see what they're doing? They basically, because invariably, if you move your hands too much, sometimes it can be distracting as well. Okay. Okay. So that's also a point. Thank you, Munir.
Well
You
done.
all right, Brandon?
I'm right.
Are you okay? Right, clear, concise, and to the point, ladies. Well done. So just a little bit more around, obviously if you had more time, a little bit more around the safety issues, and if we chatted about the finances, how would it go back into the community? Who's going to monitor the finances? You didn't really talk about that, okay, but remember you didn't have time. But all of those issues could have been addressed as well. So Rafael, I don't know if you noticed, but you only looked at this side of the group.
Did
you
I?
notice that? And that's why I asked you three,
But
how
I
did you
looked
feel?
at Mr. Mpumalanga, didn't I look at you?
I'm not Mr. Gumbi.
Okay, guys, so just be careful. If there's an important figure in the group, don't only address that person. Make everyone in the group equally valuable to that particular proposal. Okay, so include all of them. It's just something I
Thank
something
you.
I forgot. Okay. Right, off you go.
Okay. Our proposal is made to Senra. So you people are the board of Senra.
Okay.
Okay.
Does it come with the salary as well? No, I'm just joking.
Free intakes.
No, we wish. Okay. Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever.
Yes.
Okay. The business proposal or opportunity that we found is from tomorrow. Central are implementing e-tolls throughout Gauteng. So the proposal we've come up with is mobile units to be deployed to companies during working hours to register people for the e-tolls.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, nice proposition.
Good afternoon, I'm Brandon, I'm part of this team, I'm the sales manager, and I'm just going to give you some technical aspects about the actual product and what we're going to do for you. What it starts off with is we're going to have a mobile unit that consists of e-tags as well as 4 equipped people that will help us actually register the consumer. The sales target is actually 125 per person to register a day. The idea behind this is to actually go out to banks or any corporate company. For example, let's take AER Mining Services. We come in there with the mobile unit, we approach everyone whether we actually get permission if we can either have a separate office or canteen time, or we can actually park outside. And basically we would walk up and say, "Good day, ma'am, how are you? You fine? Had you a lovely day? Have you been registered? Don't worry, love, it's going to take you 5 minutes. Have you got your details with you? And I will register you up, sign you up. We've got iPads. they've got connection to internet. From there, we will send you out. We will get you registered, give the e-tag from the mobile unit to you, and they are registered. Peter's going to tell you how to the benefits without doing home care, and I'll briefly cover the financial plan effects that we've identified. So, from the financial point of view, we've thought that this would benefit Sandra in saving people time. So people won't have time to go to the main office to register themselves, but through our work, our backup strategy, people could be served quickly. So it will save time, and also the release, the congestion will be relieved. Like at shops will not experience queues and etc. And also, the quicker they do it, the more they turn over. So there will be also part of profit. So there will be money that will be pegged in accounts. So that's what we.
As you people know, from tomorrow, e-tolls will be implemented. So you as the board of Senrail will be saving you, we'll be making you guys more money in terms of people having time only on the weekend to register for this. So by us registering it on maybe starting from Tuesday, we'd earn you money for people driving to work on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, before they actually get registered on Saturday. So you guys are getting more return on investment by paying us to get this to get people signed up.
Okay, you guys finished?
Are there any
Okay, Brandon?
questions?
Okay, are there any questions? Okay, let's hear. Sydney.
Okay, unfortunately, guys, from my side, I think there's a couple of things. Firstly, my friend on the middle, your hands were in the pockets.
Okay.
Total unacceptable. Yes.
Very, very true. Don't have your hands in the pockets. Okay, have your hands behind your back like that rather. Okay.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, and I picked up that Brendan also used incorrect word. He actually said to register the consumer, but actually the correct word should have been the motorist, because obviously they are targeting to register the e-tags, but not e-tag people shouldn't be consumers, but they should be.
No, I
consumers.
think they are consumers. No, I disagree with you. I hear what you're saying,
Yes.
but I think they are consumers because they're buying a particular product. So e-tag is a product. So I'm a consumer of that particular product because I'm consuming it.
You with me?
So you can refer to them as a motorist or a consumer. So I would agree with that. Okay.
Okay, I'll take that one. Okay. Then also the flow of the presentation, the way I picked it up is that when Brendan finished, the person who was taking over didn't emphasize per se, but he dragged a bit tight on finance, then he went to emphasize. So the flow there wasn't quite convincing. That's my point of thinking. And also I also realized that when you actually jumped in, he hadn't finished, but you were already talking. So those are the only things that I actually.
No, I hadn't.
But he was finished, it was the end of his
But he was still talking, then you jumped in. So
Okay.
obviously.
Okay, no, it's
Okay.
No,
They're going to sort you out in the face.
I'll give you some Swiss guys. Sorry about that.
No, thank you for that. That's good. Okay, Marianne, let's hear.
No, I think they were, for me personally, they were quite good, but he covered most of the question that I had, especially on period putting. You see also the hand is still in the pocket. Yeah.
Okay, Ntombi, let's hear. You're right. You feel it? You had your hand up?
Well, it was good, but Munir, you used the word "you people" 3 times.
But I'm talking to you all. You are
No,
the
but I don't know,
you are
for
the people
me-
I'm addressing. You're like
Uh-uh.
Samuel.
I would rather you say "ladies and gentlemen" or you say
Okay, that's a
the
valid
board
point.
or
I also make that mistake. I say you people. So maybe it's talking down, but take it on the chin. Okay, so that's a valid point. I make that mistake as well. Okay, Manu. So okay, point taken. Thank you, Rufila. Is that it?
I'm just trying to help for when he
I
goes
hear
to
you.
other people.
I
I
hear
think
you.
this is a safe environment. I'm
I
not
hear you.
picking.
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
You can expect something in your tea. Bianca? It's here?
I think you guys did quite well. It is quite a different challenge standing in front of a group of people, whether it's 1 or 10 people. From my side, there's a few, well, there's one specific thing. You came with a proposal to provide a service to promote people registering. And you stated that if we, the board of Sanrail, hired you to help with this, you didn't specify any cost estimation for that, how the contract would work. You just said
Okay, let's hear Brendan, because I want to hear that, because that was my
The idea
problem.
was actually to get you guys to buy the idea of getting it done. We didn't actually want to give you the financials behind it.
Okay, but before I can buy into something, I want to know the cost.
Yeah, okay, then we'd suggested the next meeting. But this was selling the idea, and it was actually did work out that it would be R5 a tag. If we're selling 125
I
tags,
think,
it works out
shoot
to
me down here guys, I think that's an
200,000
important
rand.
point to mention at this meeting. Because that's the specifics. How much is it going to cost us? I want to know. So for every person that you register, for every e-tag that you register, you guys are going to get R5.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that should have been up front. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, Bianca, carry on.
it was a very nice gesture of you to be a bit more interactive, but if you had to come and sit next to me, unfortunately I would have slapped you. And that's just reflex. Okay? It's not something intentional, but that's what I do.
But don't you think Brandon would have known his audience though? So he knew Refillware, and that's why he chose to sit
Yes.
next to Refillware
And I
as
actually
opposed to
also
you.
interviewed I announced myself as the sales manager, so I actually gave an example of them actually coming to the actual consumer.
Me personally, I like
sitting
that.
down.
I like that. I understand that you didn't like
How long
it.
did, and I gave that sort of, hi darling, how are you? Have you been registered? Don't worry, it takes 5 minutes, and gave some sort of, this is what's we're
Okay,
gonna have.
so interesting scenario. One person in the audience might have taken offence, but I also like that. I actually like that. Anything else, Bianca? I've got
No,
one point.
that's all from me.
I've got one point. You didn't know your research well enough. Because Munir, you said, now I haven't researched enough, so you guys can shoot me down. But just because you haven't registered for e-tag doesn't mean that Sanrail isn't going to generate an income from all the people using the road. Remember, the whole idea is that they're going to still take take photographs of your number plate, and they're going to bill every single road user accordingly. So if you haven't registered for e-tag, it doesn't mean they're going to lose out on that particular cost.
Okay.
And that's the idea you gave us. You said that Sanrail is going to they're going to gain revenue for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday or something, okay? For 5 days, and you basically implied that Sanrail was going to lose that income because those road users aren't registered. So that showed me that there was a lack of research. Obviously, I only gave you 15 minutes, but be careful of making a statement like that, because now Sanrail is going to say, sorry, you don't know the topic at all, you haven't researched enough, that's absolute nonsense, we're not going to lose out. So once again, why is it beneficial to us that we buy into this? Because we're not losing out on revenue. So you're with me, guys. So you guys are going to have to go back to the drawing board. It's a very, very good concept, but how are you going to sell it to the particular board? So cost is important. How quickly can you do it? How many people have you got? How many people have you got? You just spoke about a Johannesburg area, but what about people coming in from Cape Town branches in it? Are you going to go to like a Deloitte and Touche and set a voucher for people coming in from Cape Town using that particular road? How is that going to work?
Yeah,
Okay.
target market was Johannesburg on this specific.
Okay, I hear you, but you see all of these questions, guys. So something like that, and I am being critical because I'd rather be critical now than for your PMA. You with me, guys? Okay.
Yeah.
Learning curves. Are you thinking about all the contingencies now? So when we spoke this morning or this afternoon about contingency questions and contingency scenarios, those were the contingencies we're actually talking about. But you see why it's so important that you know your research topic as well, Munir? Okay, because your whole presentation would have fallen flat if someone from Sanrail stood up and said, no, Munir, you're talking nonsense. Now all of a sudden you have to slick up the courage and say, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't actually know that. Now you're trying to sell me a product and you don't know enough about the particular background of that particular company. Okay, so once again, I know I only gave you 15 minutes, but just think about these things. So research is vitally important. So if you pick up an opportunity or need, make sure that you understand everything around that particular subject matter. Give them a big hand. Well done. It's difficult. It's difficult being up there, guys. It changes everything, correct?
Yeah.
This is difficult, guys. Who's very much of an introvert? I would regard you as an introvert.
Me.
I would regard you as an introvert. Yeah, I see you being an introvert. You also an introvert. Actually, funny enough, I also see you as being partly an introvert. I think maybe you're forced to be an extrovert, but you're an introvert. I think you're an extrovert by nature. Correct me if I'm wrong. Extrovert by nature. Introvert, extrovert by nature? Not. I would say
I'm
extrovert by
confused.
nature.
Yeah,
Extrovert by nature. I would say the majority of people, correct me if I'm wrong, extrovert, 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 introvert, 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 and he's interesting because I think he's introvert by nature, but he's actually forced in his work-based scenario. He's actually forced into an extrovert position. Would you disagree with that?
That's fine, thanks.
Okay. Okay. So, believe it or not, I was always an introvert, but I've actually become an extrovert by nature because of the nature of facilitation. So by nature, I was an introvert. Now, a lot of people will disagree with me and say I'm talking absolute nonsense, and I think Prof. Ben's one of them, but I believe you can change your personality traits. So when I was at school, I was very much of an introvert. I couldn't do what I was doing, or what I'm doing now, okay? But as a result of my chosen profession, I actually became an extrovert by nature. But my true nature, I would say, is introvert. I enjoy being by myself and maybe having quiet time, being on a bicycle I enjoy that, okay, just being by myself. So a psychologist would argue that, if you're an introvert by nature, by birth, you remain an introvert throughout your whole life. But you can have extrovert tendencies. So this is extrovert tendencies, but maybe at home I take on an introvert personality. Okay. Do you see that as well, Sydney? Yes?
Yeah, no, okay, just to add that I'm actually the same to you. In the sense that I used to be a very quiet person.
Yes.
Since I went into the HR field,
Mm.
I was forced to talk. So naturally, I wouldn't be doing it.
Yes.
Even talking in front of you because I was such a shy guy. But anyway, it's a fact. But anyway, my question is actually, how would you advise a shy person to curb that problem if he's in front of audience? From experience.
The first and most important thing is to know your subject matter extremely well. Know your subject matter extremely well. Because if you are a shy or intimidated person, if Brandon stands up and says, Richard, you said this, but it's actually that, straight away I'm lost. I'm lost. So you have to know your subject matter extremely well. Are you going to make mistakes? Yes. I make mistakes every single day of my life. If a person says to you, you know what, Richard, you said this, but in the book it actually says that. Acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, and move on. Don't get defensive. And say, that's absolute nonsense, I'd never say that. Just be open to it and say, look, I made a mistake. Apologize once for it, and then you move on. And you move on. Okay? Because people will take cognizance of that, and they'll say, you know what, Richard doesn't profess to know everything. Okay? He realizes that he's fallible, that he makes mistakes. Brandon realizes that he's fallible. He's made a mistake, he's acknowledged it, and he's moved on. And that will also help with the buy-in of your particular audience. There's nothing worse than if you're standing up, let's say Bianca's up there, and you say, Bianca, you know what, I liked it, but what about this? And straight away you can see the person's upset, correct? And annoyed. And once again, as a group, you're too scared of offering positive insight into that particular business case or business proposal. So you must be open to that. You cannot take it as a personal insult on you all the time. You have to say, okay, look, Marianne's asking about this particular point, and point taken, I should have actually maybe done this. I should have actually maybe done that. And move on. Okay. Right, guys, we've got a lot to do tomorrow. We're going to look at presentation skills. I've given you a lot of food for thought for tomorrow, correct? Okay? So I want you to go away today, look at News 24 if you don't mind. Look at your first part of your PMA and see if you can start structuring it. That first part of the PMA is the difficult one. Those 1 or 2 liners. Identify and describe a business opportunity on it. Once you've got that, then obviously you can start structuring your business case, correct? So go home and see if you can work on that particular statement. And don't say it's up here. I want it in black and white. Can I ask everyone to do that for me? Okay. And then that'll help you with your PMA. And then tomorrow we're going to look at a word. We're going to look at our presentation skills, and we're going to look at the structuring of a slide presentation as well. Okay. Okay, guys. Any questions before we go? You guys did extremely well today. I'm just going to go around the class. Just give me a nod or a shake or a... You all right? You all right, Bianca?
Just Give me a second.
Okay? All right?
So just come again on the requirement which we have to do over.
I want you to look at your the first part of your presentation, your PMA. So describe and interpret a business need or opportunity, that first part. Remember, that's a couple of lines, and I want you to work on that and define that. So when you come to work, come to class tomorrow, it's clearly defined what your business opportunity or need is. Brandon, you okay?
Yeah, good, thanks, Richard.
Okay, and you? Bianca?
Yes.
Right, guys, enjoy yourself.